The college football experience, Clemson Tigers 2023 season preview episode on the Sports Gambling Podcast Networks, brought to you by Bird Dog Shorts. Yes, dominate the summer with an amazing pair of shorts and a free Yeti-style tumbler when you order over at birddogs.com/pool. Once again, that is birddogs.com/pool.
Hey, folks, this is Bud Foster. You're listening to SGPN. Let's let it ride.
Yes, yes, yes. Woo! Welcome. Welcome to the college football experience. Clemson Tigers 2023 season preview episode. Yes, I am excited to talk Clemson Tiger football. You can find me in the Klubnik area. Yes, look, my name is it Klubnik? I don't know how to fucking talk. Look, my name is Kobe Swigga Database Dan, a.k.a. Pick Dundee. That's not a pick. This is a pick.
He was raised in the land down under, where a man thinks on his feet, speaks with his fists, and lives by his wits.
When Dundee happened, he was a superstar.
It's easy to see a tide turn.
I'm probably drinking too much and celebrating too much and not sleeping. I would have killed a normal man, but no, that's gone. The medical advice I got from that was like being hit by lightning. Pretend it never happened and get on with your life.
Pretend Brandon Streeter as an offensive coordinator never happened and get along with your life.
That's a little rough.
No, I like Brandon Streeter, man. I like him as a quarterback. I remember him back at Clemson. And if you heard the introduction, we had Bud Foster saying, listening to SGPN here, let it ride. Bud Foster interviewed for the same position as Dabo Swinney. All right. And how do you see? Well, I guess I got it.
I'm a Bud Foster lover, but that seemed to work out for Clemson.
Yeah,
seems like they made the right choice.
I'd say 161-39 is not bad. But first, let me introduce my co-host. He's at the beach. He's on vacation. God knows what's in that beverage that I see you sipping there. Some rum punch, perhaps. Give it up for former JMU Duke defensive back, the burrito eating, sideline kiss stealing, wheeling dealing, Patty C in the place to be.
Hi-oh. Well,
let's get this Clemson stuff going. Let's get this Clemson Tiger stuff going. I mean, look, no more divisions in the ACC. I think that might actually help Clemson. Now, maybe you'll be playing a better team in the championship game, but in the regular season, you might.
Yeah, you're probably right. If they can avoid Florida State, I don't know if they're one of the supposed protected rivals there. If they are, then it probably doesn't help Clemson much. But if they're not, then it certainly does.
Yeah, but obviously Dabo Swinney doing an amazing job. He's not fond of the NIL or the transfer portal, but guess what? And everyone ridicules him, including myself at times. But he is fond of winning because that's all the guy fucking does, Patty C. All right, that's all he does. And they go out this offseason. They get rid of Brandon Streeter. They bring in Garrett Riley, brother of one Lincoln Riley, who coached in the national championship with the TCU Horned Frogs. I was a bit shocked by that hiring because he normally keeps everything in-house. But you know what? For all that talking, he had to go out and hit the coaching portal to bring in Garrett Riley.
Hey,
what do you make of that hire, though?
I think it was a good hire. Obviously, he probably has a better feel for where they are than anyone else. When you look at this team's like composite talent nationally, last year they were fifth in the national composite talent, you should not be finishing number 48 in overall offense if you're that much more talented, especially given the competition they were playing against, ACC. So it makes sense statistically, and he probably has a good feel for what's actually happening behind the scenes, X's and O's wise. So he struck while the iron's hot and got his guy.
Yeah. And who knows, maybe they'll be back in the 4-team playoff invitational this season. We'll see. We're going to talk all about it. But before we get into that, I want to tell you that the college football experience, Clemson Tiger 2023 season preview episode, it's brought to you by Bird Dogs. Bird Dogs make you look good, all right? All right, I mean, come on. This is like Trevor Lawrence's hair. It makes you look good, all right? I don't know what I'm saying here, but look, Bird Dogs.
What are they calling him now? The prince that was promised, Trevor Lawrence.
Yeah, there you go. See, and you know he wears Bird Dogs because Bird Dogs are stretch khaki shorts, and they are designed to fit slimmer through the thigh and leg, giving you a truly sculpted Trevor Lawrence look. He's in Jacksonville. You know, he's down by the beach. So he's wearing these Bird Dogs all the time. And look, Bird Dogs, they fit way better than regular shorts, you know, because regular shorts are made of that stiff, restricting cotton. Nobody wants that. Bird Dog fixed this issue by inventing cloud knit fabric. It looks like khakis, but stretches so you get a way slimmer fit without having to sacrifice all that movement. It's like sitting back in the pocket. You don't want to be sitting there moving. You just want to deliver that ball, you know? Look, Bird Dog uses anti-stink sweat wicking fabric, too. I mean, how great is that? It keeps you cool and dry all day long, and you don't have to smell like you've been, hanging out in Tijuana for a week. Go to birddogs.com/pool and enter the promo code POOL for a free Yeti-style tumbler with your order. Yeah, that's birddogs.com/pool. They're going to give you a free Yeti-style tumbler. You won't want to take your Bird Dogs off. We can promise you that. All right, we are back on the Clemson Tigers 2023 season preview episode. And, Patty C, I'm curious, what did you, I know you rattled off those Nuggets, by the way. And by the way, shout out to Clemson. I got them as a 8-time national champion. You should own all those undefeated seasons that they didn't crown you when other bullshit teams got crowned.
Right.
Or like in 78 when you had the same record as Alabama and never played each other. That's a natty. You need a publication? Here, send me whatever you need. I will honor that. And Texas, Alabama, all these other schools honor these bullshit ones. All right. So let me know. And we're there. That's an 8-time national champion for the Clemson Tigers. But yeah, Patty C, looking back at last season, what did you make of Clemson? I know you rattled off the offense was not up to snuff. They did beat Dave Clawson in 2 overtimes, I think it was. That was one of the games that stands out memory-wise as just a really good football game.
Shootout.
They only lost twice, and that was I guess the bowl game too. But in the regular season to Notre Dame up in South Bend on November 5th. And then somehow Shane Beamer got the best of them. And that's, I think, one of the stories we have to talk about this year, because that is a big storyline. What happens if Beamer – they got to go to Columbia this year. Could Beamer be stealing a little bit of that mojo is a storyline that I know Clemson fans don't want to hear, but I feel like we must address this.
Very much so. I mean, I was watching that game last night at the bar. They just had on Notre Dame, South Carolina in the bowl game, the Gator Bowl. Spencer Rattler is excellent. His ball placement is excellent. He's always putting the ball in a place where his receivers are in stride and can make the most of it. It's the little things that have, changed and that Beamer is doing that Clemson needs to be careful with. And obviously they got the better of them last year.
Yeah, and it's going to be interesting. They also played a close one with Syracuse and Florida State. I mean, they did go – that's what's interesting. You look at it, and I know quarterback play was an issue. They went 3-1 in games, in one-score games. So you would assume that they would have good quarterback play in a way. Not the case. They both struggled. I know Cade Klubnik only threw for 3 touchdowns and 2 interceptions. They're giving him the keys. DJ Ukulele, I call him, Ungale, is in Corvallis, and I'm hearing speculation he might not start in Corvallis. But
that's crazy. I'm seeing on maybe, and we have maybe different publications with stat wise, but I'm seeing Klubnik with 3 interceptions and 2 touchdowns.
That's you're right. You're right. I messed that up. Yeah, three interceptions, 2 touchdowns. You are correct.
And DJU 22 touchdowns and 7 interceptions. Are we sure that they've moved in the right direction?
I mean, I think they just had to make a decision. Too many cooks in the kitchen. What do they say? If you got multiple quarterbacks, you got none. Just go with one guy and get it done. And I think Clemson fans will tell you that Klubnik's the guy. He was better. They like him better than DJU. We had a bigger sample size of DJU. Remember, we had him the year prior as well. So there is something to that being said as well. But I don't know. I feel like Garrett Riley, how fast will he, make an impact with with this offense and with Cade Klubnik? Can he get him there? Because I will say this, Riley was what? Was that his first year at TCU? I think it was a season ago.
He's only 33 years old.
Well, he got Max Duggan, who was a veteran. So it's a little different, but I know, I just feel like it's probably a good hire because he's from that school and Lincoln Riley's very smart. And I know people raved about Garrett Riley at TCU, and I think he was at App State not that long ago, and they liked him. But it's something to monitor here. So actually, let's do the portal. I know Clemson doesn't really believe in the portal, which is hilarious. It's a breath of fresh air for hosts like me that are talking college football with 133 teams, by the way. I hope you're subscribed as we break down every team in the land, just like we do each and every year. YouTube.com/The College Experience. Subscribe, iTunes, Spotify, whatever. But Patty C, incoming, I did appreciate that they did bring in Paul Tyson from Arizona State, a quarterback who is the great grandson of one Bear Bryant. Yes. So they did bring in him. And after that, nobody. That's the one guy they brought in. It was kind of like when they brought in Hunter Johnson last year. So the parting is
I would say Dabo Swinney's Alabama ties. I don't know if he played for it wouldn't have been Bryant because he died probably before Swinney was out of grade school, but the Stallings was there while Swinney was there, I do believe. So maybe that Alabama connection still exists, and that's how they got that guy.
Perhaps. Well, they lost quarterback DJU to Oregon State, as I alluded to. They also lost Billy Wiles, a quarterback, to Southern Miss. They also lost Kobe Pace, their running back. I'm familiar with him as well. He goes to the Wahoos. Tony Elliott calling up an old friend. Dakari Collins, a wide receiver, goes to NC State. Ouch! That's one of your rivals in conference. What the hell is happening here? EJ Williams, another wideout, goes to the Indiana Hoosiers. Itanosa Rubin, a defensive lineman. Clemson's always loaded on the defensive line. Transfers out to Georgia Tech. Kevin Swint, another defensive end, goes to Georgia State. Linebacker Vontae Bentley goes to the Colorado Buffaloes and Dion. He says, we coming. Linebacker Sergio Allen goes to the California Golden Bears. Safety Malcolm Green joins Tony Elliott at Virginia. And cornerback Fred Davis goes to UCF. There's no way you can say they won the portal. There's just no way. Yeah, there's just no way. I'm sorry. We grade this. They're like, I don't know. I mean, they don't. That's what makes this so compelling. It's going to be fun to watch. The offense, as I alluded to, I know Brandon Streeter's gone, but last season, 29th in scoring offense, 46th in rush offense, 65th in pass offense, 47th in total offense. That's the number Patty C mentioned earlier about why Brandon Streeter's no longer in Clemson, South Carolina. So they bring in Garrett Riley. Now, like we mentioned, from the quarterback position, I guess you could say somewhat of a returning starter because he started a game or two. I don't even know if he started a game or two. They might have just brought him in. But Will Shipley's back. This guy, he's pretty damn good, man. You like Will Shipley?
I do like Will Shipley. He's climbing up that all-time rushing leaders list for Clemson. So, where is he? Where is he on that list?
It's unfair to compare him with
Shipley,
Terry Allen.
Anyway, he's number 21 all-time and climbing right now. So,
but you realize the problem here is they play like 30 more games now than before. You know what I mean? Like before, you didn't have the conference champ, you didn't have the 12-game schedule, you didn't have the conference championship, you didn't have the CFP Invitational. You know what I mean? So you got all these games. But Shipley's back. You gotta like that. I know they lost Pace, but I think you're all right. And behind that, you got Phil. How do I pronounce this guy's name again? Maffa, I think it is. He's good. He flashed to me at times. Wide receivers are back. Well, 2 of 3. Antonio Williams and Beaux Collins are back. I think they're going to be breaking in Adam Randall. That's a name to keep an eye on here. Tight end. They're breaking in a new tight end. I think I'm seeing it penciled in as Jake Briningstool. Great name. Offensive line.
Yeah.
Now, offensive line, this is, I think, a reason to be really, really excited if you are a Clemson fan, is center Will Putnam's back. Right guard Walker Parks is back. Right tackle Blake Miller's back. Left tackle Marcus Tate's back. So 4 of 5 on the offensive line, Patty C. You got to think they're just going to be a lot better. You got to think with Riley, who can make it just so much easier on offense. You got to think that this offense is going to thrive a lot better than they have recently, right? Or am I crazy?
No, you're absolutely right. I think you got to expect with all that returning, the offense is going to fly. And really, I mean, like you said, if you consider Klubnik the returning starter, what is that, like 8 or 9, or maybe 7 or 8 players returning on the offense?
Yeah,
that's a lot.
Yeah, and so I think it would be 8 if you're calculating him in there. It would be 8, but either way, I mean, I think you got to like, even though it's a brand new system, I think you got to like what's going on there. Defensively, what's hilarious is they say 8 starters returning on defense, but I would argue that it's 9 because Xavier Thomas is back for what I feel like is his 30th year of college football. I think he got out for the year. Was it last year? Either way, that is a stud at the defensive end spot. Now they are breaking in Justin Maskell. He'll be fine. They just reload on the defensive line. Let's be honest. Both defensive tackles are back, which is what you want.
I mean, the defense is.
What's that?
Yeah, defense is definitely defense is the strength of this team again, and they'll be able to lean on that early and often, I do think.
Yeah, and bringing back the defensive tackle is always huge. They were 23rd in scoring defense a year ago, 12th in rush defense, 75th in pass defense. That's a little concerning. Remember, there was their first year without Venables. 27th in total defense. They go with the co-defensive coordinator, Wes Goodwin and Mickey Kahn. But linebacker-wise, I think they're going to be pretty fine, too, because Barrett Carter and Jeremiah Trotter Jr., I think it is, are there. I know they're breaking in a new one. So 2 or 3 back in the linebacking core. Patty C, their entire secondary is back pretty much. I know they lose some guys, but all 4 starters return. And the safety position, they're pretty loaded with Andrew Makuba and Jalen Phillips. I mean, this defense, I think, could be a top 10 defense this year.
Yeah, it's not what were they, number 26, 27 last year? It's not a huge stretch to think that they could be a dominant unit this year again.
Especially, the offense couldn't get first downs. It felt like the defense spent more time on the field than usual. If they're able to move the ball on offense, some help that defense out, they might have something cooking. They might just have something cooking. Now, they also bring back their punter, Aiden Swanson. They are breaking in a new kicker. That is a little scary because if Clemson finds himself in close games, you never want to be just relying on someone random. You know what I mean? Someone new, even though he could be good. Patty C, tell me what you make of everything here. This offense, defense, you think the easy front runner in the ACC?
Easy front runner, but I think, they're just going back to what they had been doing. Having 4 out of 5 offensive linemen coming back is huge in terms of the, ability to run the football and establish balance. But by bringing Garrett Riley in, they're going back to their kind of finesse approach, and they haven't cranked out tons of offensive linemen. But everywhere else on the field, they have skill, and especially on the defensive line. So I think we're going to see, a traditional 2015 to 2018 type of Clemson team, and that's good enough for the playoffs. So I would have to think, at first glance, this is a playoff team.
Ooh, you hear that, Clemson Tiger fans? Look, we're going to talk all about it. We're going to go game by game on the schedule. But before we do that, I want to tell you that the Clemson Tigers 2023 season preview episode is brought to you by Underdog Fantasy. Yes, Best Ball Mania is here, and Underdog Fantasy is giving away $15 million in prizes. Underdog Pick'em is also a great way to get down on your favorite MLB player props. I know right now is MLB baseball season right now, but also in college football season, they do great work with their player props. You got to check them out. So many ways to win over at Underdog and active in so many different states. Head over to UnderdogFantasy.com. Use that promo code SGPN for a 100% deposit bonus up to $100. Once again, that's UnderdogFantasy.com. Promo code SGPN. All right, we are back on the college football experience talking Clemson Tiger football. I think it's an exciting time to be a Clemson fan, obviously with their recent history, but also knowing they made a shift in offensive philosophy in a way. So hopefully you're watching on YouTube. If you are, you see this sweet-ass graphic. Once again, that's youtube.com/thecollegeexperience. And that graphic has the win total at 10. Now, Patty C, right before we went to break, you said you think this is a college football playoff type of team here. And so you're blindly, without diving into the schedule, you're saying, give me that over, right?
Yeah. I think, especially with the way the schedule breaks, and it only takes a glance to see where the big games are being played, and those are at home. So I think that now the Klubnik is the big question mark, but if he can play decently well, then I see playoffs on the horizon here.
I love it. All right, week 1, Labor Day, standalone game. The only game that now watch out though. People don't realize, I know Duke is Duke, and they haven't been nationally relevant since Sonny Jurgensen and Mad Dog Curtis, but Duke was 16 points away from being undefeated a season ago. I repeat, Duke was 9-4, with all of their 4 losses being by a total of 16 points. So Duke was very damn close to being undefeated. They did not play Clemson a year ago. And you're going to Durham. Mike Elko, that was his first year. Year 2, he brings back 18 starters on that team. Slippery game. I'll say this. Obviously, we like Clemson to beat Duke, I think. But if I was Duke's head coach, if I was Mike Elko, more than any spot on the whole entire season, I would want to play Clemson week 1, because my thing is they might have, Klubnik has how many? I don't even know that he has started on the road. I don't think he has. I know this isn't a toxic environment, but still. And it's a brand new offense. So if you're telling me I have to play Clemson, I would rather play them week 1 than any other week of the season, probably.
Absolutely. I think, if you're going to get a lit environment in Duke, usually, halfway through the season, they're out of any important, kind of game. And so you're not going to get that rabid environment. But with the game they had, or the season they had last year in year 1 under Elko, there's excitement there. You get Clemson, obviously, the king of the ACC coming to your house in week 1. And like you said, especially a guy like Elko, who's going to be able to dial up. He's probably licking his chops at the opportunity to take advantage of this breaking in situation. It's not ideal for Clemson here.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's a sneakier game than most realize, but I still got Clemson winning, right? So 1-0.
Could be close though.
The Buccaneers of Charleston Southern come into Clemson. This game's useless. 2-0, right?
Yep.
Florida Atlantic, the Owls, who have a brand new head coach in Tom Herman and a brand new quarterback in Casey Thompson, the former Nebraska Cornhusker / Texas Longhorn. Could it be a sneaky game because Florida State's on deck and then Florida State's preseason top 10? Could the Owls give them a more of a game than people realize?
I think that's a good combination right there. Herman and Thompson, you got the trigger man and you got the brain behind it. Look out. Plus they were pretty they've been pretty talented for a while now under Kiffin, and then Taggart was recruiting. Yeah.
So I mean, we got him. I think you got him winning this one, right?
Yeah, 3-0.
Then they host the Florida State Gators. I'm sorry, the Florida State Gators. Jesus, I've had too many to drink. Florida State Seminoles. Holy fuck, I can't believe I said Florida State Gators. Anyway,
well, I'm sure the Clemson fans love your disrespect to Florida State, so it's okay.
Will there be any? This isn't in Tallahassee, so you don't have to worry about the fans reading any spy novels in the middle of the fucking game. Like that one year that was absolutely hilarious. Look, I'm not buying into the Florida State hype nearly as much as I trust Clemson's defense to put the kibosh on the Florida State offense. I'm all over Clemson. I actually think that Duke game is more scary than the Florida State game to me.
Yeah, potentially. Florida State is definitely overrated preseason. I am not buying the hype either. I think Clemson kind of has a distinct advantage on them, and it would take Florida State really coming up with a surprise to win this game.
Now comes the sneaky one. I feel like, what is it about this game that just keeps Syracuse always gets Clemson at like the best spot, and they always give them a game. Remember, they missed a field goal, I think, last time in the Carrier Dome to send the game to overtime. Syracuse did.
Yeah.
So Clemson escaped, and
Yep.
I think that one of those years, like the past 5 years, I think Syracuse bit them at the Dome. So this is a sneaky game because you have Wake on deck, and Wake is a contender, I think, in the ACC. And dude, this is the game. Like, I'm taking Clemson, but if there's a game I'm off, it's this right here, because Syracuse does return
100%
Garrett
right.
Schrader, and Jason Beck's running the same offense as Anai. There was a quarterback coach. He's been Anai's like top assistant for a long time, so I don't think they're going to miss a beat with that. But this is the one. This is the one, right? That we're going to be wrong about, right?
Yeah, I mean, if Clemson can, or if Syracuse can put together a little game plan to slow down the offense, maybe Klubnik has an off day, maybe Shipley's not, exploding, then they're going to find themselves, in a lower scoring game. And then you're right, on that turf, a speed quarterback like Schroeder keeps them in it, and we might have a field goal ending going one way or the other.
I just feel like that game always gives them trouble. I'm taking Clemson, so I got Clemson at 5-0, buddy. You got him at 5-0, and then Wake Forest comes to town. No Sam Hartman. He's in South Bend. I think Mitch Griffiths is going to be fine at Wake Forest as their quarterback, but I also think they are going to lose at Clemson because they can never beat Clemson because Clemson's D-line puts the brakes on that slow mesh. What are you doing here?
Yeah, I mean, I have to agree. Clemson, you got to figure, is going to take a little step back without Hartman. Probably not much. They seem to be quarterback proof, but even still, he was a good quarterback. So I think Clemson gets him at home.
Then they get a bye week before they travel to Coral Gables, where no one goes to these fucking games. Miami sucks. They looked awful last year, so I'm not going to even consider Miami. They have no home environment. Clemson wins in Coral Gables. I got them now.
Miami Gardens, as it were. If it were Coral Gables, then it might be harder. But since it's in Miami Gardens, there's no chance the Hurricanes get it done.
Right. So. Why am I fucking this up? I said the Florida State Gators.
You're just
Miami
throwing
Gardens.
shade at the state of Florida.
I'm recording too much. There's too many episodes coming out right now. The whole state of Florida hates me. Back-to-back away, though, buddy. They're playing back-to-back away, and this is where I have them losing their first game. NC State gets them on October 28th.
Ooh. Well, I guess that's
they always drop one, I feel like.
Yeah, no, they do. They do. And I don't think they're going to run the table on this schedule. And they might drop 2 because they got to go to Columbia at the end of the year. But up until then, I think they only drop 1. In a vacuum, though, I have them favored in every single game. But I'll say this. I'll give them the win here. And then the following week, even though I think they'll win that, I'll have them having 1 loss by November 4th against Notre Dame.
Yeah, the Irish come down to Clemson, South Carolina, where they seem to normally bring thunderstorms when they come play in the Carolinas. Then they take on the Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets. This is a rivalry game, they say. I don't buy into it, but that's a dominating win, right? So you got them winning that too, right?
You would think yes, that is a dominating win. Although, again, I reiterate to as much as we have made fun of them having that as a protected cross-division rivalry previously, and it is one of their protected 3 rivals moving forward. They did get Florida State, North Carolina State, and Georgia Tech. So that's actually kind of a tough draw as far as protected rivalries for Clemson, but I think they'll do all right. 35-21 all time against the Yellow Jackets, but they are still playing catch-up, and they add 1 to the win column there. So what do we got them at? 9-1?
9-1. Final 2 weeks of the season. The North Carolina Tar Heels and Drake May. This could be a preview of the ACC championship, Patty C. Mm-hmm. They come to town. I'm going to say this. They get North Carolina on November 18th, and then they play at South Carolina on November 25th. I think they drop 1 more. I got them going
right.
I think they're going to go 10-2.
You're probably right. You're actually probably right. There are enough hard games on the second half of that schedule that they probably get caught twice.
Now,
so it's tough for me to say they are a playoff team if that is the case.
If they only lose 1, they can make the playoff. But here's the problem, buddy, is we're on the same number as Vegas, and we're not going to just sit there and say, no, that's what we're doing. We have to take either the. So is it more likely that they go 11-1? Or is it more likely that they go 9-3, Petty C?
I'd say it's far more likely that they go 11-1. I think Dabo hasn't won less than 10 in 12 years or something. So that's just kind of what they do. They win a lot of games, and they might drop 1 or 2, but I can't see them dropping 3.
Yeah, but they could still win that 10th game in the bowl game. But yeah, I'm with you. I think it's more likely for 11-1 than it is because they get their games kind of spread out. The ACC looked out. I think it's a solid schedule. Yeah, you have some harder teams than, who do they don't play Louisville. They don't play Pitt, who I think that's probably a good thing.
Would be one of the most dangerous ones, yeah.
Pitt can bang with them. Their away
Getting
games.
Florida State and Notre Dame both at home.
Yeah, their away games
and Wake.
At Duke, at Syracuse, at Miami, at NC State in conference. NC State's the hardest one out of those.
Those are some tough ones.
But Duke's not a toxic environment. The Carrier Dome's not a super toxic environment, even though they seems to be funky. And then Miami's not a toxic environment at all. So
no.
Yeah, I think it's more likely they go 11. So I'll take the over. This is something I would not bet, though. I don't feel comfortable with this one. Without seeing Klubnik, whatever the fuck his name is. And why are they getting these quarterbacks' names I can never pronounce? Louis Angele,
Smith,
Klubnik. I just think it's more likely that they go 11-1 than 9-3. But I mean, it wouldn't shock me. I could build you a case on 9-3. What if Syracuse gets them? Syracuse, NC State, and South Carolina, or you could say NC State, Notre Dame, and South Carolina. But I still think it's more likely, and like you said, I think they'll be favored in. You can make a case they'll be favored in every game. Maybe if NC State's red hot, they could, but I still feel like they'll be favored in every game, right? I mean, maybe
they will be, except, if Notre Dame's having a great season with Hartman, and if Rattler's tearing it up for South Carolina. That's a road game. Both those could be losses. Those are the two most likely games that they would lose. In fact, those are the two games I guess I would have them losing. So I think Vegas, usually if they aren't sure, if it's a question and whether it's going to be 9 or 10 or 11 wins, they'll give you like 9.5 or 10.5. But for them to settle right on 10, it's because that is exactly what they're projecting. So I think we both agree with that. But like you said, if I had to lean one way, it would be over.
Yeah, but you wouldn't be locking this up, right? I don't feel that comfortable.
No.
All right, look, so I'm on the over. Patty C's on the over. Don't love it, but we're on the over. But before we get out of here, we had the opportunity to sit down with Michael Barker, a.k.a. College Football Campus Tour, on Twitter at CFB Campus Tour. And a quick little interview about his travels down to Memorial Stadium to see the Clemson Tigers and their awesome college football experience. Here we go. Joining us on the College Football Experience, Clemson Tigers 2023 season preview episode is Michael Barker, a.k.a. CFB Campus Tour. This is a must-follow on Twitter, folks. If you love college football, this guy goes to every single game. I feel like 6-7 games a week. The list is unbelievable of the amount of games he's been to over the past 5 years, and he does this thing, shot of the day or shot of the game, that he'll publish. You gotta check it out at CFB Campus Tour. I welcome on Michael Barker. How you doing, Michael?
I'm doing great and excited to talk about Memorial Stadium in Clemson. Oh
man, and I have a terrible story that I was there one time and I was planning to go to the football game. This was before they were really good. This was like early 2000s. But I was there visiting a buddy. We planned to go to the game. I tailgated a tiny bit, but I did not go to the football game because I was interested in some girls, I think, at this thing. But I regret it, and I got to get back there. Tell me about your experiences to Death Valley, as they say.
Well, we know football stadiums will always be there, so you played the odds there, and it sounds like it went well for you. Built in 1942, original capacity of 20,000. There's an interesting story that I found, which is their head coach in 1939, his name was Jess Neely, and he took the Rice University job. And when he left, there had been talks about getting a big stadium in there in Clemson. And his advice was, don't ever let them talk you into building a big stadium. Put about 10,000 seats behind the YMCA. That's all you'll ever need. And disparaging the program on the way out, it started with 20,000. Like I said, when they built in 1942, today it is 81,000. It's the largest stadium in the ACC. And we all know the home field advantage at Death Valley. So talk about eating your words right there.
Yeah, and Rice isn't really winning national championships. But, I love the Rice Owls too. But hilarious. So tell me about your trip, though. What game did you see?
So I've been there twice. I went there last year. They played La Tech. It was a night game. It was part of a doubleheader. I went to Georgia at South Carolina at noon, and then it's about a 2.5-hour drive from Columbia to Clemson. I saw 8 o'clock at night, La Tech at Clemson. That was fun. The best game I saw, well, not results-wise, but it was the opener of 2019. Game day was there. It was a Thursday night. They were accepting their national championship rings from the previous season. They destroyed Georgia Tech 52-14. Travis Etienne went for over 200 yards and 3 touchdowns. And so they won both games I went to, but that was the most memorable.
Yeah, I think that was the beginning of the Jeff Collins era, if memory serves me correct, at Georgia Tech. Yeah, I mean, this stadium always looks awesome with the introduction, the way they come down, they hit the rock. You know what I mean? It just seems like it just an awesome college football experience. So I got to get out there, and I'm curious, so the biggest stadium in the ACC, would you put it up as one of your favorites in the ACC?
I think that, I'm going to leave one out, but I think you got to say Lane at Virginia Tech. You got to say the Doak in Tallahassee and probably Clemson. And then, maybe you can mix in a couple others. But I think those are the top 3. Clemson's home field record over the course of all the years is 334, 106, and 2. So they've been dominant there. It's really a strong home field advantage. We know how it's been the last 8 or 10 years. So from game day experience, the size of it, we know that Clemson, South Carolina is not a big city, and to get 81,000 people in one spot, it's something that you should definitely take in once in your life.
Amen, folks. So that speaks to me. I feel like he's talking to me. I don't even know if he's talking to the audience because he's like, you were there, Colby, but you didn't go in.
You blew it.
Yeah, I blew it, right? And to quote Robert De Niro, you blew it, right? And look, folks, I plan to get back there at some point soon. Death Valley, Memorial Stadium. What are you doing? If you go to Atlanta, even get over there and check out a game. I know that Clemson, South Carolina is close to Greenville, South Carolina. But if you find yourself anywhere in the state, I think it's drivable. So check out Clemson Stadium, Memorial Stadium, Death Valley, South Carolina. Let's go. And make sure you check out Michael Barker. He's on Twitter at CFB Campus Tour. Michael, I appreciate you coming on and sharing your experience there at Death Valley, a.k.a. Memorial Stadium.
Absolutely. Thanks again for having me.
Michael Barker. Patty C. I mean, we got to get down there for a game. I was there. I just didn't go. I'm an idiot. What do you make?
Oh, you're chasing Clemson tail. What do you? You're excused.
Yeah, I was 20, maybe even 19. But you got to love their introduction with the rock, with the running, with the buses. all that shit. They're a great college.
You know what I like?
What's that?
I like the million orange balloons. It's whatever. It's got like a little bit of a high school kind of vibe with the homecoming thing with the orange balloons, but it looks so tight when they're releasing them all. That stadium is so orange. It's definitely a vibe.
Yeah, and I didn't even think about that. We shot down the Chinese spy balloon in South Carolina. So South Carolina, big balloon state in my mind, baby. Let's go. All right. Down at Merle's Inlet. All right, get yourself down there. No, guys, I'm on the over. Patty C's on the over. Subscribe to the College Football Experience because we're breaking down all 133 college football teams. Yes, we do this each and every year. We also host the FCS College Football Experience. Subscribe over there. Maybe you're a Furman fan listening to this. Check it out. We also host the College Basketball Experience. Hey, you go out, you get Joe Girard from Syracuse. I kind of like what Clemson basketball is doing right now. When basketball season starts, first off, we talk college basketball year round on that feed. We're just not there every single day. We will be there every single day when the season starts. So check out the College Basketball Experience. And also that we host a College Baseball Experience. Clemson had a good team this year and a crazy postseason games that they played. It's a shame they didn't continue on, but still had a great season. So check out all those. We come together as one on YouTube, youtube.com/The College Experience. Subscribe, tell a friend. Also, check out the Sports Gambling Podcast. Yes, the Godfathers, right? Get the SGPN app. It's free to download in the App Store and Google Play Store. With that, you'll get access to all of our picks, all of our podcasts, all of our content. And it's free. It's all free, folks. And look, Clemson fans, or just in general, sports fans, hop in the Discord and talk with us. It's like the Discord is like a house party of degens just talking whatever sport. It's unbelievable. It could be tennis, table tennis in Japan. You know what I mean? Like, look, everything. Hop in the Discord, sportsgamblingpodcast.com/Discord. You go to the college football channel, the college basketball channel, the college baseball channel. We're all going to be in there. It's like tons of people. So hop on over there. Enjoy yourself, folks. All right. We're both on the over. And we continue on this journey to go through all 133 teams. This is the College Football Experience, Clemson Tiger style. You better start thinking about yours. And we out of here.
You know